Welcome, YouTube. I must speak very enthusiastically about this because it's funny. Anyways, jokes aside, I was actually gonna make this with a note block, but it's probably not gonna happen now because funny hypercam I'm using, the hypercam just sucks. So I decided to just make a fun video on Pokemon Clover Showdown, right? I'm gonna be doing a mini strollge guide. It's probably not gonna be good. Like, I think you can hear by the quality of my audio. You can see that it's definitely not gonna be the most refined thing you can see on the internet, but I'm gonna try my best. First, we have Strollge here. He has some very good abilities in Prankster, Levitate, and Madman. Prankster is definitely going to be being your main goal because although Levitate is useful, it does not give you the same utility that Prankster can give you, especially with its wide move pool. Madman can be funny for some sets, like if you want to make, like it lives to the appearance of Strollge, which is Madman is pretty useless. However, it can do a little bit of trolling. It can definitely do a reasonable amount of trolling. Though again, as you're gonna see, you are very slow. You have only 55 base speed. Though from there, your qualities do begin growing because if you can look here, we have a normal fairy type, which is honestly pretty good. You only have your only notable weakness in the metagame is really poison, because like you can, as you will see later, just parting shot out of steel types, and most of them are defensive with the exception of Horntuber, which, you know, you are gonna lose regardless. If there is a Horntuber on the field and you switch this in, you're stupid. And that's about it. I already have on one of the sets, but 95 HP is reasonable. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's reasonable. 95 attack is actually very usable because something that you need to learn is that if Talonflame can work with 81 attack, everything that has more attack than that can definitely work with 90 defense, which is honestly not that bad considering you have 95 HP. It's not bad at all. It's not good, but it's far from being bad. It's honestly pretty alright. You know, it's pretty bad. 70 special attack, it's not the greatest thing that you have, but it's still usable for Moonblast, since Moonblast is such a good stat move. And probably your best stat, or the one that you're going to be using the most, is special defense, which you have 105 of, which with 95 HP, honestly, it's pretty good. We'll be looking at a few sets right here. I will begin here by this Death Pivot, which we can already see that has Slack Off for reliable healing. So, I guess if you for some reason want to run Moonlight, let me find Moonlight. Yeah, if you for some reason want to run Moonlight, it can work, but you have Slack Off, 16 PP, it's just more PP that you can utilize, so you can utilize them with more. And you do not have to be hindered. How the fuck do you say that word? You will not be hindered by it. Or help. So I think personally that Slack Off is always a more reliable choice. Considering that Weather sometimes does come back. Like, Weather is not broken in the current metagame. However, it sometimes does come back, and if you fight versus Rain, you will be having a tough time with Strollge. Strollge already does not do that particularly well versus Rain. Anyways, right? Because if you think about it, you have Kirkutla's Rain. Kirkutla's uses Liquidation, and you're taking like 50-60% even if you are physically defensive on the point, right? So you are gonna be having a tough time versus things regardless. But if you just destroy your own recovery, it's gonna be worse. Again, it's definitely usable on like Centimes, but I would not recommend it. Second, we have either Parting Shot or Encore. I would say that Encore is better on this specific set, but Parting Shot is still usable. Parting Shot is just so you pivot around, you know. Like I named it Death Pivot, but that's a nice and I forgot to just remove it. So if you want to run pivoting, you can definitely run Parting Shot. I think that's definitely the more wise choice that you should actually be doing, correct? But Encore is good because there are a lot of setup sweepers that you can definitely just destroy. Like, setup sweepers are just gonna be a non-existent, probably, because you can Well, I will be honest, Hypercam, unregistered Hypercam 6 does quite a small amount of throwing. It does quite a little bit of throwing, correct? But anyway, what I was saying, second core can really shut down some setup supers, correct? It's not gonna be the greatest choice, but if you can combo it with God, that really forces them to switch out, you know? Like, it really forces them to switch out. And it can be useful to just like shut down a few Pokemon like Semash. Semash cannot do that much versus you if you use Encore. Like there's a Rocks, you Encore, they cannot do much. And that's basically it for this slot, right? Here I would personally run either Play Rough or Moonblast. Both can do different things. Like they can do the same thing, correct? But they have different utilities, because like if they don't know which attack you're using, they cannot switch into the correct Pokemon, correct? So it's basically just like using stuff to your advantage. Like if your team is needing more special attack offense, I would probably run Moonblast, maybe with a bit of investment, just so you do a bit more of the damage. But Play Rough normally does fine. And for the last slot, I will run either Toxic or Taunt. Taunt is to shut down a few Pokemon. Such as Semash again, because Semash is such an oppressive menace on this meta game currently. And Toxic is just for you to Toxic something and then you can party shut out, etc. It's probably not gonna work versus Mega Pathetic, but you know, such is life, You cannot taunt, you cannot provocate everything. You cannot do the points and everything. The defensive pivot is basically the same set, but defensive. I don't think I have to explain that. I actually just forgot to put this in for EP cents for that. But it's basically the same thing. There is not much to explain. And then we have the funny throwing set, which is very similar, but you actually have to run pivoting with Parting Shot, Slack Off, and Play Rough, right? But on this set, you have Topsy-Turvy over Taunt and Toxic. Now, I didn't want to mention this specifically as another set instead of the Spadef pivot, for the simple fact that this really is a game changer. Because there are some times that you're gonna lose the game, and thanks to Topsy-Turvy, you win. For example, if setting up Primitive or like, let's give the example that a Primitive finished setting up, but they need to set up once, or a Playdex also needs to set up once. You probably are going to lose the game, correct? Like, if your team is slow enough, your team is losing. Belly Ground Primitive with Speed Berry, that I forgot the name of. You are in a tough situation. So to fix that, you can actually use Topsy-Turvy thanks to your Prankster ability and just go crazy. You know, you can just go crazy and make them -6 attack and -1 speed. They are not doing anything else for the rest of the game, and you can now have a better chance of winning. It's really an ingenious thing, and this is also going to be the set that I'm going to be using later in the video. However, you do have to keep in mind one very important thing. You are still keeping the pivoting part of the thing, right? But this thing cannot taunt shit, right? Like I know this is pretty obvious. I'm seeing this as like a general thing. This is, I feel, a different enough set to may not be the same as this Spadef pivot, but at the same time, I cannot say it's the better one. The better one we will see soon. Before we see it, actually, I will actually talk about I'll say 5 times. I will say something about doubles. I don't play doubles. I don't know how to play doubles. Doubles for Cap is very weird. But Strollge is definitely a good Pokemon in it. Again, outclassing Infection. Infection, I do not have it here. Let me see if I can find it. You've seen this thing? This thing is fucking useless. Why would you ever use this thing if Strollge exists? It just shits on Infection. Literally, Infection would be quite a decent Pokemon, but with Strollge around, it's just kind of like irrelevant. So that gives you an idea of how good of a Prankster Pokemon Strollge is. Probably just being worse than, say, Believin', because that thing has Mop, and Mop is a phenomenal move that honestly Strollge probably should get to make it the ultimate troller. But for doubles, you have Fake Out, Fake Out. You have Heal Pulse, which is a very useful thing in doubles. I believe so anyways. You have Encore, which is not in here. I kind of forgot. Like, doubles is a good thing I'm doing. To at least try and mention the format, you know. You have Encore, which, you know, pretty good. You have Hard Swap, so you can not only cut some sweepers, but you can actually do like a chain of events to give it to your own Pokemon. So that's pretty cool. But that's very gimmicky. Now you can Memento can be good. You can Nasty Plot, though that's pretty useless. And that's basically it, right? You have Rock Slide, you have some very good doubles. You have some very good moves. Flagger probably being a good one that I did not include. And I think there is, I am not finding anything else. Alright. Oh yeah, Saint. I forgot about Saint because like Saint is basically a gimmick but it works, you know. There are better Pokemon for the job if you want a reliable sleeping Pokemon like Tombora, but it works. Doubles is just really something that I don't understand, but I just mentioned what I believe would be good about it in doubles. This is not really like a set. But now for something that is an actual set, that is probably the best Strollge set that no one is running right now, but it's definitely probably the best. The Setup Sweeper. Basically, for this, you're gonna run max special defense or max defense. I'm pretty sure this thing gets Calm Mind, yep. Depends on what you want. I'm gonna be just showing here the bulk up set, but a Calm Mind set is basically you go max defense instead of special defense, and then you go from there. You run bulk up, slack off, heal back. Those three moves are unchangeable. And then here's the move of choice that you have to hit stuff, right? You can run return since it's a stronger move, but I would not recommend that. Play rough is probably the most consistent choice, even if we're gonna miss quite a bit. And from there, considering how fast Strollge is, it's very tough sometimes to, you know, just take it down. And even when you do, it has a priority slack off. So if the player is playing right, it's a very tough thing to break. Which, funnily enough, loses to the top C30 set. But not because of that it's worse for any. This thing is probably the most reliable because if you get this thing in, this set is the most reliable. This set is the most reliable because if you get this thing in the right time, you can probably win the game. It's not an over-exaggeration, but after some things go down, this thing can win the game very, very easily. You just need to make sure that if they don't have like a Sandlash or a Saber even sending. Now I will begin searching for a few matches. I probably will play only like 1 or 2 matches in this video, considering how Hypercam 6 works and I only had like 5 minutes of recording for me to begin another one. But I will try to win the matches. I'll try to do a bit of trolling with Strollge, and I'll be back. I think it shows in the video. But I should have pressed it. With who coincidentally is the creator of Strollge. Let me close the lobby here. With the creator of Strollge, Gino CD. I'm gonna be trying to play to my best of my abilities, but here you already can see that Strollge is a phenomenon, right? There is not much that he has that can do stuff to it. Like Sealseeker can damage it with Rending Blade. However, if you really think about it, you don't. You just leave with this. See, and now this War Dealy cannot do anything, so I'm just gonna play rough. If he stays in, he's fucked. If he doesn't stay in, I Parting Shot. See? Like, I meant the inverse. Like, he now goes Sealseeker, I get a bit of chip, maybe a deck drop. No, it would never be that lucky. But now we Parting Shot. He could be momentum spamming, which would be bad for me, but I have Semash right here to prevent that from happening. E-Glare, which is certainly bad. It's certainly pretty awful, actually. It's actually certainly pretty fucking awful, I will not deny. But right here, I can try and stop Rock. That's actually pretty bad too. But I get a free switching into a Pokemice. Which I am 90% sure that Wargeo is AV specifically for a Pokemice, which honestly kind of sucks. I could probably DP right now, go Among Us, and maybe win the game. Can I win the game from here? Wow, I actually could. I don't win the game, but I get close to. Yeah, I knew he was gonna do that. Uh, I'm gonna try and get up my rocks. He can knock me off. Would suck, but that's fine. Like it's not a good thing, but Semash is such a good Pokemon that I think it can do stuff even without it. I will get paralyzed again. That do suck. But my paralysis luck is in fact fucking awful. Like, my paralysis luck is awful. It's just kind of like just pretty sus. Pretty sus. Now if you keep switching back and forward, that's pretty bad. I'm gonna go back to Semash because I get a free healing out of this. Yeah, I think he's just gonna be switching back and forth. I know I live from here. I hit from Cloudbreaker. Ooh, when you do that, I took 25% on Destiny Mirror. And now is the moment where Strollge shines. It's gonna take a lot of damage, true, but it's gonna be able to pivot out. Oh, it didn't even take damage. It got Spadef Drop, which does suck, but I'm 90% sure this is Specs, and now Noxilium gets quite a bit of damage, I believe. Noxilium gets a reasonable amount of damage. And next time that thing switches in, it's going to be at like 51%, so that's pretty great if I use this on myself. Dogos is going to take a bit of punishing. Paralysis. I will try right here to get the paralysis on him. Because if I do, that's pretty bad, but you know what? We killed Dogos. Dogos is pretty big to be gone, because right now, look at the seam and look at, I'm going to be Pursuit Threat right here. Pretty big. Pretty big. I am basically in a position to win the game right now, right? Wait, Among Us. And that was all facilitated by Strollge. I said this and I win the game, don't I? Wow, and now he no longer can switch in. That's pretty great. That is pretty great. I can now go into Strollge once again. They can just select off on whatever he does. Look at that. He got a crit and that did 61%. Out of a Miru. Look at that. I believe this is gonna do enough for me to live, so I can just parting shot, go into Hazmate, and win the game from there. Unless he crits me right here. That would suck. That would certainly suck. I can just SD. Yep. And now I am in the position to win the game. This is a very good position to be in. Basically, I just click Triage Brain Punch. And I should be able to win if I don't get P1 Luxury Paralysis. That is less than I anticipated. Oh, let's see again. Yeah, and now I Drain Punch. Now I Drain Punch. As long as I don't get too unlucky with Paralysis, I should be fine. I can still win from here. It's like a very winnable game. I just kind of need this Weather Beam to be gone. Yep. The thing unfortunately crashed, but while it did, basically, he sent in Water Beal. I did not get paralyzed, and Mega Hazmate won. All of this was facilitated by Strollge being an incredible pivot. I'm probably just gonna be doing this one match to demonstrate because, again, Hypercom 6 do suck for this if I don't buy it. I might end up buying it eventually. Who knows? But that's basically it. You can see how Strollge actually can switch into some very strong special attackers, not take that much damage, and then pivot out with Parting Shot. And then, if they are actually sweepers, he can do stuff with Topsy-Turvy and Core, Toxic, all of this stuff. He gets all of it rolling. So, overall, Strollge is a very good Pokemon that needs to be used more. It's pretty underutilized right now. I think I beginning to use it is now actually boosting it a bit music-wise, but it's pretty underutilized. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will not do the same mistake again, and I will now press F3. Goodbye.